I don't know. What's up guys? Hello and welcome back to yet another video. I'm coming at you with another cosplay story time, and I am really flippin' tired. March was basically crazy con month for me. I had 3 conventions in the space of 1 month. So basically it was weekend of a convention and then free weekend and then weekend of a convention and then free weekend and then weekend of a convention. So I'm really tired. I just got back from Sakura-Con, which was my most recent convention last weekend, and it was very fun, but again, I'm really tired and I'm glad that I'm finally gonna have a little break from cons now. And I'm also really excited that I can finally get back into doing videos regularly, because there were a couple weekends in there when I had to miss my upload date. Because going to 3 cons in 1 month is a crazy hectic time, but I did my best. Anyway, I'm excited to be coming back full force. And also, yes, I'm wearing this wig again because I love how natural it looks and I don't get to be a brunette very often, and so I thought, fun wig to wear. Reviews up there if you're curious. Probably not. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so today I'm going to be sharing a pretty short but sweet story from my time at Sakura-Con. Sakura-Con was a very chill convention because, like I said, March was crazy convention month. So by the time Sakura-Con rolled around, I was like, we're just gonna take this super chill, and that's what Sakura-Con was. It was very low-key for me and a bunch of people who I talked to, but it was a very nice opportunity to see friends and acquaintances and meet new friends and meet a lot of you guys, which I'll be talking about later because, like, oh my gosh, I have so much to say about that. But anyway, it was a very chill convention, so there wasn't a whole lot of crazy shenanigans that happened, but I do have this little story that I thought would be fun to share. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this particular story happened on the Saturday of the convention. I was hanging out with my friend Morgan, who is cosplaying Dark Magician Girl, and she's the best Dark Magician Girl. She is so cute and just rocks that cosplay every time she wears it. Anyway, she was cosplaying Dark Magician Girl. I was, of course, cosplaying a Raven, and our group was hanging out at the Just Dance station in the gaming room. That was pretty much our con tradition. It's become a con tradition since last year. Like, we just play a lot of Just Dance. So it was the end of the day, everyone was almost ready to go home, but Morgan and I were the only ones in the group who wanted to make sure that they got a few more photos on my camera. So our friends, they said, okay, well, we're gonna get ready to go, but like for the meantime, you guys go take your photos and then you can meet back up with us. So we're like, cool. So we decided to go onto the stairway that's just around the corner from the game room and take some photos, especially for Morgan because she had her Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician cards that she wanted to pose with. That was our mission. So we exit the game room, and right outside the game room in the hallway is this little girl and her dad. And this little girl is about 3 or so, and she is in a little Moana dress and she looks very cute. So she immediately sees us and just comes up to us and says hi and just launches into conversation. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts, just like starts talking to us. And we're kind of caught off guard, right? Because usually when kids come up to you, they're like, hi, and then they, you know, they chat with you for a little bit and then they want to get a photo. But that's clearly not what was happening here. She just saw us, she saw like the pretty ladies in their costumes, and she was like, I'm gonna tell these ladies about my day. That's just what we're gonna do. So we figure out that this is going to be, you know, a full-fledged conversation, so we kneel down and we start talking to her, and she starts telling us about how, like, she met Princess Peach that day, and like Peach told her this, and this, and she had this on her dress, and then like she met Belle outside and like Belle had this on her dress, and she's basically telling us about all of these character encounters that she had during the convention. So pretty much this convention for her is like Disneyland but on steroids. There's just like all of these fictional characters that she can just go up and talk to, us included. And so her father sees this, and you can tell that he's kind of like nervous because we were obviously on our way somewhere and we were kind of in a hurry, but like not too much of a hurry that this was, you know, an inconvenience or anything, but we were definitely like, you know, walking with purpose on our way to go take photos. And, you know, she came up to us and just started talking to us. And so you could tell that he was like, okay, like, let's let them go now. So he was saying that to his daughter. He'd be like, okay, like, you know, let's wrap up the conversation, you know, we need to go. And the little girl is having none of that. Like, you can tell, like, she hears him probably, but like she just completely ignores him and just keeps talking to us because like she wants to talk to these ladies in their cosplays. No one's gonna stop her from doing that. And it was very cute. So she keeps talking to us and we're like, oh, that's very cool, very nice. And eventually her dad again says, you know, okay, like, we have to go. Let's let the ladies go on their way. And so the girl pauses and she kind of thinks about it. And then she looks up at me and she's like, so who are you? And I tell her, oh, I'm Raven from Teen Titans. And then she asks me what my superpowers are. This is not something that I really expect, obviously, because when you see kids at conventions, like, usually they know that you're in a costume. They don't usually think that you're actually the character, which I guess is kind of not super normal, I guess. I'm not really sure. But most of the time, kids understand that you are in a costume, that you aren't actually the character, I think. I don't know. I actually don't know what's going on in their heads, so honestly, I actually can't speak to that, so never mind. I have never had a kid ask me that, right? So obviously, Raven has a large array of powers, right? Like, she has a whole grab bag of powers. Like, probably the creators of the show couldn't even really, like, sum up what all of her powers are. I know English. So, like, she has this huge grab bag of power, so I can't spend like 5 minutes being like, well, she can do this, and sometimes she does that, like sometimes she does that, like sometimes she does that. So my automatic response is just to tell her that I can levitate things. And when I say this, at first I'm kind of nervous. Like, as soon as I say it, I'm like, wait, like, maybe that is a word that she won't understand. But at the same time, I think it's really important not to dumb things down for kids, because, you know, if they don't understand something, they'll just ask you, what does levitate mean? So I wasn't too worried about it. So I tell her this. She kind of pauses for a minute. I think, like, maybe she doesn't understand what the word is. Maybe she's gonna ask me. But she pauses, and then she looks back up at me, and she says, "Can you show me?" And I'm like, that's so cute, but also, oh no! Little does this girl know, she's not talking to the real Raven. She's talking to a fake imposter. And I can't, you know, fulfill the whole joyous experience of getting to meet the real Raven. As much as I'd like to be able to, I am but a fake. I can't fulfill this girl's dreams. So I'm like, oh no, like, what am I gonna say? Obviously, in hindsight, I would have just said, like, oh, it's kind of dangerous in this hallway because, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody, and, you know, it's dangerous. I would kind of went down that route. But in the moment, I was struggling to think of something in character that I could tell her. So in the, like, 3 seconds I have to figure out a response, I say, oh, not right now, unfortunately. Which is, like, the lamest response ever, but it was the best I could do in that particular moment. And so she looks really unimpressed. You know, you can tell she's like, oh man, this Raven not showing me her powers. Who does she think she is? Not really, but, like, you know, I'm a fake, I'm an imposter, I'm not the real Raven, I'm sorry. So then she kind of thinks about it. You can tell she's like, okay, well, what can Raven show me without actually showing me her levitation powers? So she looks back up at me and she says, well, how would you do it? And again, like, I still don't have a very good answer, so I just kind of go like, oh, like this. Which is, like, the best I could do in that moment, but, like, I knew it was lame. I'm doing this and I'm like, I'm disappointing this kid so much. Like, this is such a lame response. I can do better. I can do better. And of course, in hindsight, I could have been like, oh, well, I do like this, and then I could just lift whatever I wanted, right? If I had more time to prepare, had I known that, you know, I was going to be pegged as the real Raven, you know, I would have had everything thought out beforehand, but unfortunately I didn't. So she's kind of like, oh, you know, you can tell she's like, oh, that's okay, well, whatever. Like, you know, again, I'm an imposter, I'm not the real Raven, you know, it's totally fine. She's not impressed because, you know, I can't live up to that expectation of being the real Raven. That's just, you know, I am unworthy of that, you know, that height of like expectation, but I tried my best. So at this point the father's like, okay, like, we have to go now, come on, you know, say goodbye to the ladies. And finally the girl's like, well, okay. So just, you know, without even giving a second thought, she just, you know, kind of like nonchalantly, like, just comes up and gives me a little hug. And as you guys know from my other Raven video, very emotional one, when kids hug me as Raven and, like, look up to me as Raven, it's a big moment. So she gives me a little hug and I'm like, oh, thank you, and, like, you know, pat her on the back, make sure to follow the Disney rule, you know, wait for her to let go, because, you know, when you hug a child, you never know how long they need it. And so she lets go, and, you know, she gives us a little wave and she's like, okay, bye. And I'm like, bye, nice meeting you, and then they go on their way. It was just a really pure little moment, but again, if I had more time to prepare, I would have had better responses. So the next time I wear Raven to a big event where there will be children, I will have all of this figured out. I will practice so that I can do my best to live up to the expectation, you know, of, like, being the IRL Raven, even though I am but a fake imposter. Anyway, it was a really cute moment, and just the fact that she like asked to see my superpowers was just like something I never expected, but also was just so flippin' cute. Like in the moment I'm like, this is the cutest thing ever, but also I know I'm gonna disappoint her because I'm not the real Raven. But anyway, overall Sakura-Con was a wonderful, wonderful time. And one thing that I can't get over about conventions, and especially this convention experience, I mean all the experiences from last month, but you know, this one obviously it's the most in my memory, is just the fact that going to conventions is like, it's like a reminder that you are valued and loved and appreciated by many people who you also love and value and appreciate. And so when you see friends or like just acquaintances who you see online, you get to see each other and like hug them and give them compliments and like chat with them. There's just this crazy vibe of positivity that is, I think, really important. It's something that I really value at cons. Like even if you don't do anything at convention, one thing, you know, I like to try and do events, but even if I'm not able to, it's important to like sit down and be like, you know, think of all of the people who you got to see today and like how you got to show them that you value them and how they showed that to you, and it just kind of carries you. You know, if you're having a rough time in life, going to a convention is such a perk up because it kind of gives you that reassurance that like you are valued. Anyway, that's not relevant to the story, but like something I want to mention because, you know, we get sappy over here on my channel quite a bit, but the point I'm trying to make is that everybody who came and said hi, all my friends, acquaintances, mutuals, new people who I met at the convention, each and every one of you made a huge difference in the convention for me, and getting to hang out with you guys and like chat and everything. Literally everyone who I encountered during like basically any of the cons last March, really appreciate it. So like thank you guys so much. On that note, I met a lot of panda faces. I met so many of you at this convention, like probably more than any other convention, and you were all so nice and so cute and just so oh, everything you guys said was so nice, and I really appreciated all of you who came up, and we got to chat, and we hugged, and we got photos together, and I can't tell you guys how much of a highlight each and every one of those interactions was. I seriously, seriously appreciate everyone who I got to meet. You're all so, so wonderful, and it makes a difference because sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, I don't feel like putting out a video, like, you know, mental health, you fluctuate. Sometimes, you know, you're going through a bad period, but knowing that you guys like the content that I put out and enjoy what I do and that it somehow had an effect on you is a lot to take in, and I really appreciate it. And it was a big deal to hear that from so many people and get to like meet all of you in real life. Anyway, I'm getting really sappy. I'm sorry. You just wanted a cute story. Now I'm gonna get sappy on you guys. I'm sorry. But anyway, I really, really appreciate all of you. And I want to give a shout out because I got more fan art. They got a little bit wrinkled when I tried to get them back home to Canada, but I've kept them as pristine as possible because these are absolutely gorgeous. I will have the Instagram links. Yeah, that's what they're called. I will have the Instagram links posted on the screen and down the description because you should absolutely go and check both of them out. But I got this beautiful, beautiful raven and also this bracelet. Thank you again. I love both of them and I loved meeting you, and the lollipops were delicious, so thank you so much again. And also this beautiful drawing of my steampunk ladybug, which I absolutely love. Oh my goodness, you guys were so wonderful and so wonderful to meet and talk to, and everything you guys said just hit really hard, so like thank you so much. These are going straight on my magnet board. My magnet board is gonna get maxed out. I'm getting so many fan arts, you guys. Oh, you guys are the best. Anyway, so thank you guys so much. But yeah, I want to make sure to give a shout out to each and every one of you who came up and said hello. Again, I really appreciate it. And yeah, so Sakura-Con was a good, happy, love-filled, good time, and I met a little girl who thought I was the real Raven. Next time I will prepare myself. I will prepare myself to be the real Raven as best I can. No one can really be as great as like the real Raven. That's just impossible. As usual, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to come and listen to my weird, crazy rambling and stories. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and for all of your ongoing support. Like I said, it's amazing and it really does make a difference. I will see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!